time of the year with the Freedom Bros. Welcome to Festivus 2023. My name is Dustin Hurst. I'm Freedom Bro number 1 tonight. I'm joined by Freedom Bro number 2, Greg Pruitt. How you doing, man?
You know, I can't be happier. It's Festivus, so I'm feeling kind of crummy actually because I got sick from a soccer trip. so there you go. That's it. That's my first gripe already.
Yeah, I will say, oh my goodness, we
Oh, we
have.
got we got somebody in already. So
Oh, this is going to be amazing, Bjorn. We'll get to you in a minute. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick intro before we start getting to people, and I will explain how Festivus is going to work. But first, before we do that, you know what we have to do first.
Oh yeah.
We have to do our over-the-top stinger. So if you're listening on loud headphones, plug your ears. Here we go. It's Freedom Bros Festivus 2023. See, here's the thing. That doesn't even make me feel better tonight. I am super salty right now, and
You totally are.
wow, that's nice writing on those subtitles. How did we
Yeah,
get
it
that?
said it said holidays. I don't, it's a new thing, so I just figured out see what it looked like. So we'll leave
Sure,
it. Yeah,
sure.
sure. Yeah.
Okay, so here's how this is gonna go. Okay, Festivus, if you remember correctly, is from Seinfeld. I should have gotten the clip from Seinfeld, but I don't care. Like, I'm super salty today. I'm
Yeah.
like 0 Fs are given right now, right? So typically Festivus is a holiday for the grumpy people among you, and you just gripe about whatever you want, but it has to be good. Like, it can't be like, oh, somebody parked too close next to me, or like, my kid put my sock in the garbage. Like, don't come in here with lame crap, right? Like, make it good. Like, and I'll tell you, for those who are wondering, this is my list. This is my list for tonight. We may or may not get through all of this. We only have an hour, but we want to include you, and we actually have Bjorn Handeen is here for Festivus. We'll get to him in a minute, but we want to include you. So here's what we're going to do. Right here in the messages, and I don't know what platforms you're in. Greg can drop it on Rumble. I don't care if he does or doesn't. Don't care one way or the other. But there is the link to our studio. So you can join Festivus 2023 with the Freedom Bros. You join in, you sign up, and come on. We'll bring you on. But if you're lame, we're going to turn you off. And we will say, get the hell out of here, because we're just not having it tonight, right? So come with good smack. Make it fun. Make it interesting. Before we get to Bjorn, Greg, I know you didn't prepare as well as I did. Like, I did my freaking homework here. But do you have any Festivus smack that you want to bring just to get us started?
Oh gosh, yeah. So you were prepped way more than I was because I've been busy working on a new job for the ISA, and so I've been going crazy. But I guess my first one would be, when you're running an organization or a company and you got these awesome, incredible ideas and you run into people who are roadblocks, it really pisses you off. When you're really excited about something and then people just totally crap on your idea and they don't want to do it. That's really frustrating. That's what I've been going through the last few days, and you know that. So that's my first gripe.
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a really good one, because there are some people who either they do it because they either are making money off you and they don't want to let it go, or they're just the stick in the mud. And I'm not sure which one's worse, right? The stick in, like, both of them are bad people. Like, just try something new every once in a while. Just try something new. Okay. Before I start to burn a little bit, let's get to Bjorn. Bjorn, I hope you're ready, buddy. Bjorn Handeen up in North Idaho. And we've done, by the way, we're not doing AV tests on any of these because I don't even know if we can hear Bjorn. So let's go. See, we can't hear you. Can't hear you. You got to turn your mic on, buddy.
I just hopped on to watch the show.
There we go.
I didn't realize that I could be part of the show today.
Oh yeah, no, this is the show, and this is how we're doing it tonight. And I know because you work in politics, you have plenty of gripes. Give me one.
Oh, a gripe. Well, I'm not the gripe kind of person, am I?
I don't care.
Well, gosh, what I've been thinking a lot about lately is the the platform, the Republican platform.
Okay.
And that is it's a long document that we're using right now as a measure. But when I look back in Idaho history, the platform has been more of a specific legislative agenda. And so I like the idea of holding legislators accountable to the platform, but how much better would it be if we held them accountable to a specific legislative agenda that we all agreed on beforehand?
Wait. How are those two things different? Because
Well,
the platform tells them what to do. Isn't that what a specific legislative agenda is? Or are you talking like, this is what we want you to do in this certain period of time for the 2024 legislative session?
that's how it used to be.
Oh, really? Tell
Yes.
me more about that.
Well, the committee that devised the platform was different than the regular convention delegates. There was a separate platform convention, and that convention devised a platform, and it was supposed to be used by all the primary winners to campaign on in the general. And so it was, it was meant to only have a specific time limit of 2 years. It wasn't the same from
Wow.
session to session.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Huh.
I did not know that.
Yeah, for those that don't know,
That must
Bjorn
be
knows
great.
a ton of Idaho political history, so he's a history buff. And we'll have to have him on, honestly, for an actual show to talk about a bunch of that fun history that you do. Because
Yeah,
you
and
do
I'm
know
very
political
upset about it. That's my gripe. I can't stand that it's been changed.
Dude, I kind of feel you, Bjorn. Like, Dustin knows me. I mean, I have complaints, but for the most part, especially when you're a Christian, you're just kind of like, you're taking these trials and you're learning from the trials, right? And so when you come on and complain at Festivus, it feels awkward. But Dustin's like, no, I'm good.
We're happy warriors.
Yeah.
I mean, warriors.
Here's the thing. It takes all types to get this work done, and we do need to have the happy warriors. But
Yes.
just like we need legislative nerds who know stuff that I don't even care about and probably will never care about, but find incredibly interesting at times. So Bjorn, that was amazing. Do you have any other gripes?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Anything to do with like ranked choice voting or something? I mean, come on, man.
Yes, yeah.
There we go. There it is.
Easy one. That's an easy one. Gosh, I can't really say anything interesting about that hasn't already been said.
Oh, there's plenty that's going to be said tonight, including some new cuss words, I think. So
now, okay. Well, here's something with the open primary. I got to thinking the bill that got shot down. I think it was your brother that wrote it. The bill about
must have had
horrible grammar.
Horrible grammar.
Your brother wrote the bill about the State Department of Education trustees being elected rather than appointed, right? And that almost passed, right? That passed in the House, I think, or it came close. Do you remember that, Bill?
Yeah.
I honestly don't. Again, it was, I don't know.
Right.
If it comes from Tyler, it's bad. So, I mean, let's just be clear about that.
I was only kidding. It was the other. It was the other one.
The other one.
Brandon.
Oh, that one.
Oh no.
We'll get to him.
Oh,
too.
I think we got.
We'll get to him too. Trust me. We're gonna get there.
Well, so he wrote that, and of course all the liberals voted against it, right? They don't want the State Board of Education trustees to be elected from 7 different regions around the state. I mean, just can you imagine who we would elect in North Idaho? It wouldn't be Sean Creel.
Wait. Who would you elect in North Idaho? Would it be the guy who wrote the legislation? Maybe this is a jobs program. Have we thought about that? Oh, did I say that out loud?
Even though he took a job up here, he never was a resident up here, and that's why he was able to keep his vice chair position down in Boise, right?
As vice chair of what is it, legislative district 21, I oppose this. I see those tweets from time to time. That's fun stuff.
Yeah. So really no, he wouldn't be eligible to run up here if his residency was down there. No, there's plenty of other education-minded conservatives up in Region 1. Hardy Heath. That's who we would. I love Hardy Heath.
That would be lit.
Okay.
That would
Yeah.
be lit.
Interesting.
At least
Yeah.
like he's like a freaking lumberjack. Like he could help with the career technical education stuff. That would be amazing. I would fully support that.
He's a fantastic writer, and he can teach people how to smelt their own metal and to make tools to carve their own canoes. Yeah. I mean, that might be part of the curriculum.
Dude, I would go back to school to learn how to carve my own canoe. That would be amazing.
Hardy Heath would be an awesome teacher.
Yeah. Oh,
we should make a charter school just for him.
Yeah.
But okay, so the thing is, why would liberals oppose democracy? Right, giving the voice to the people and electing their own school board trustee.
They know
trustees.
why. You know why. Because we know that Brad Little, 6 figures from the teachers union put Brad Little in office, and they keep supporting him because he keeps filling their pockets and keeps putting their people in power. And then people like Sean Keogh, who, by the way, I think she's up. Is she up in 24 or 25? She's up very soon.
I don't remember.
And let's hope that the conservatives hold the Senate Education Committee. You think she's going to get? Think she's going to get reappointed and confirmed by the Senate? I don't think so. But I know why. You know why. It's because Brad Little's a liberal and keeps appointing liberals.
But any argument you have against closed primaries can also be used in that debate, right? Isn't power to the people a good thing?
You are asking for intellectual honesty in politics, buddy, and you're never going to get it. Never going to get it.
That's my grievance.
Oh, goodness.
That
yeah,
is my
there
grievance.
you go. That's a good one.
All right.
More honesty in politics.
Yeah.
May the odds be ever in your favor then, buddy, because you're never going to get it.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Bjorn Handy, thanks for joining us on Festivus.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Yep. Merry Christmas.
That was a good start. That was a good start.
That was fun. That was fun. The funny thing is, he actually thought he was coming on just to watch. Didn't realize he had the show stream. So it's kind
surprise. Oh man. Okay. For those in the comment section, remember you can join Festivus 2023. The link is it's on Rumble. I dropped it on Rumble. It should be on Facebook or Twitter. I don't even know how that works with X, Twitter, whatever it is these days. But we'd love to hear you come and gripe with us. We want to know what's on your mind. And if you don't, that's fine too. I've got plenty of gripes. And if you guys want to choose the best gripe, the worst person or thing of the year at the end of the show, we'll give them a high five or something like that. But I think my biggest gripe that I thought that came to my mind first, top of this list, is people who use the word extremist like it's toilet paper.
Oh my gosh.
That is, guys, listen. First of all, what you're trying to do isn't working. Idahoans aren't buying it, right? And if you call everything extremist, nothing is extremist. Nothing. Seriously. And by the way, what is extremist? I want low taxes. I want people to pay for their own damn health care. I want, no killing of babies. And, the grocery tax to be repealed. And by the way, don't teach sodomy in our public schools.
Right.
That's extreme.
Stop transing the kids. I agree. And the funny thing is that the moderates in the Republican Party in this state, they use that word all the time. But guess what? So do the leftists, and so does the media, which is the same thing. And so that's why regular Republicans when they hear that word all the time, they're like, oh, well, that's what the media says about the guy. So he's clearly a good Republican. Like you said, it's not working. It's not doing what they think it's doing.
Well, and the other thing I think, this is going to get into some territory that I really don't want to touch on tonight, but Idaho Leaders United put out a statement after the whole IFF Riley thing. And I'm not going to talk about that because that's I don't want to talk about that. But they have put out statements on, conservative stuff, conservative organizations doing stuff they don't like. Basically, that's what it is, right? It's Idaho Leaders United is Tommy Ahlquist group to bash good conservative people, right? And it's like, wait a second, Tommy. first of all, you ran in the primary as a good Republican conservative, right? You tried to convince everybody that you were conservative. Yet your group has never put out a statement condemning abortion, has never put out a statement condemning the transing of the kids that is going on in public schools. The Coeur d'Alene School District, they helped a kid switch gender identities. It's insane. Without telling the parents. You guys have not condemned anything on the left.
What about Lisa Sanchez? They ever condemned her for all her stuff? Nope, not at all.
Yep. They would never condemn anything on the left. It's the most insane stuff. So it's like, it's not working. It's not honest, and nobody believes you. But we hear people like Greg Graff and the Babe Vote lady, whoever she is, and Mayor McLean and Tommy Alquist say the word extremist over and over and over. Guys, it's not working. And Tommy, you have enough money to do a poll to tell you it's not working. Do the damn poll and be done with that word. It's not working.
Yeah, it's not working. And we talked about that when the Idaho Leaders United started, we said, just like all the other groups, Take Back Idaho, Idaho Leaders United, all these, Veterans for Open Primary, all these stupid groups that are going to call out the right-wing extremists, they'll say we're nonpartisan and we're calling out extremism on both sides. But like you said, it only ever goes one way, and you see it coming. You know what's going to happen, and it's just not working, and which is fine. They can keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's fine with me, because Idahoans, see past all that crap. So
yeah, it's like, again, Tommy again, and the interesting thing about this with Tommy is that his claim to fame was that he was the businessman who was going to implement business-like stuff in government. Tommy, part of business is marketing. And you're failing. You have enough money to figure this out, and you are completely failing at it, and your group is a joke. The nice thing that you and I have talked about, Greg, Idaho Leaders United will be a non-entity. I mean, it's already mostly a non-entity, but it will be gone within 12 to 15 months, as long as when Tommy, closes the checkbook, because nobody's supporting that organically. It's just a pet project for him, so he feels good about himself. But it'll be gone soon. So nice. Yeah, that's some consolation, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. What's another fun gripe for me? Oh, I got one. And actually, it was Bjorn kind of reminded me of it, but I can't really pick on Bjorn about what happened. But guess who come on and aren't fully dressed and don't have their mics and everything ready to go? Matthew Jensen, super annoying live on the show. I'm just. That's like nobody's going to remember that except for probably me, you, and Matthew. But anyway.
Hey, Mark. I am so hot. Thank you. That's my buddy. That's my buddy Mark in Tennessee, who has absolute trash flavor taste in football teams. But I love him, and he is hot too. So, Mark, I love you, buddy.
Thanks. Wait, who does he like for football?
I don't even remember. I don't remember. He changes it so often. No, he just hates Oregon, and so I hate him and everything he stands for. He's trash. What's going on over there?
That was my printer doing something. I don't know. That's going crazy. I got a new printer, and it has a mind of its own. So
yes, I know why you got a new printer. Okay, while we're on the subject of trash football teams, we're gonna really body shame me on my own
We're going
show?
there, body shaming,
Goodness
man.
gracious. Okay, but I can bench press like twice what that guy can bench. So. My favorite stars from I've never actually watched Flavor of Love. I don't watch TV. Like, it's not a thing that I watch.
What is Flavor of Love? I don't even know what
I
that
don't
is.
even know. I honestly don't know. Like, we joke about it. I'm in a group chat with him, and like we joke about it, and like I pretend I do that ha 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 thing, like I know what he's talking about, and I don't. So it's great. It's fantastic.
All right, what's your next one?
Okay, while we're here, you bench press your mom. While we're here on the sports topic, the people who freaking goodness gracious, Bjorn, I gotta focus. The people, Larry Scott and the Pac-12 leadership, who drove the Pac-12 into the ground, into the absolute ground. I cannot take my son to Pullman, Washington, or to Salt Lake City, Utah, to watch a game with the Oregon Ducks because Larry Scott is an incompetent leader and the Pac-12 is no more. For those of you who don't know, that's a conference that's been around for decades. Teams like Oregon State, Washington State, UCLA, USC, etc. Just completely mismanaged. So media rights mismanaged, top to bottom, just a clown show, complete clown show. Last season, USC and UCLA bolted for the Big Ten. That's where Oregon and Washington are headed eventually. The other 4 teams, there are 4 more teams that are going to the Big 12. And then 2 teams are left out because they suck. But it's still sad for me because that was a regional thing. I wanted to take my son to watch football, and now it's just gone. And nobody cares about watching Oregon play Rutgers or Illinois. Like, no one cares. And sure, there'll be some really good games with, Michigan, maybe Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, but like, who cares about Rutgers? No one cares about Rutgers. So that's my big burn right now. It's just the complete and utter destruction of the Pac-12 is embarrassing. So there you go.
Well, so since we're on sports, I got a sports gripe for you. So, my kid is now in high school sports. He's a goalkeeper, and I talked to a lot of athletes, high school athletes here in Idaho. Maybe it's just a soccer thing. I don't really know, but it's interesting how the politics of sports is almost just as bad as politics, like 100%, right? And so it's interesting that it's not necessarily even who's the best, it's who's been the most loyal, right? Who's been around the longest, who has the best relationship with the coach. And it seems like it's that way in a lot of places. So are you waving at me? Who are you waving at?
No, sorry, my camera's blurry. Keep going. I like this one. No, I really like this one.
So that has proven to be extremely frustrating because, like next year my kid is like, do you think I'll be the starter for varsity? I'm like, I don't know. I think you're already objectively better than the kid who's a year older than you, who will be a senior, but he's been going there for 3 years and playing soccer for 3 years for the team. So, no guarantees that being the best doesn't really mean anything. And it's not just high school. It's he tried out for the Olympic development program, which he made. And the coach was kind of like, well, we have our starters, we've had them for a while. And I'm like, look, as a coach, I don't know about you, but like, I don't care who my starters have been. If some person comes on my team, no matter what sport it is, and they're better than the rest of you, guess what? He starts. Right. I mean, so I've never understood this whole, loyalty over everything else. So anyway, super
my favorite and least favorite calls sometimes at IFF when I worked there were parents who were like, hey, you need to use the apparatus that is IFF to look into our football coach because of this, this, and this. And I'm like, I get the frustration because we all want our kids to excel and to get time on the field and to do those real world challenges. But like, I'm not going to use IFF to investigate your local high school football coach. I'm just not going to. That's a serious gripe. That's a really good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. There are so many. Where do I start?
You got a bigger list than me, so we got to start knocking some of your stuff out here.
We really do.
I'll just pile on.
I do want other people to join. I know Ryan's bitching in the comments comparing. Dude, here's the thing, Ryan. If I put my mind to it, I can squat more than you within like 3-4 days. Like, I'm not joking. So there's that. But if you want to come join Festivus 2023 and you can rag on me, I don't care. The studio link is in the comments. We'd love to have you. This is our show where we're actually doing you a favor because we want you to get all your grievances out before you actually go and spend time with your lame relatives, so that you don't like go blow up all of your relationships, right? Like, you should be paying us for this service, quite frankly. Or maybe you like that. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I once took an Uber ride it was right before Thanksgiving, and it was this young gal, and she's like, here's what I'm going to do at Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow. And she was like, I'm going to talk about how great Joe Biden is. And I'm going to talk about Kamala Harris and how much I love her. And like, she was dead serious. Like, she was very liberal.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And I was like, you want to ruin Thanksgiving? She's like, I absolutely do. And she was 100% serious. So maybe that's, that's who you are. I don't know. But anyway, okay. This one is a huge gripe for me. I live in the People's Republic of Boise, and I thought, and you and I were on the same page with this, Greg. I thought Boise is lost, and I still think that. But looking at the numbers, there's a little bit of hope. But Mike Masterson ran the worst campaign that I have ever seen anyone run. And here's why I say that. You know, the whole thing with Ryan Spoon was silly. That was silly. Returning $100 donation because somebody believes in traditional marriage, like, come on, Mike. Like, you turn off the conservatives when you do stuff like that. But, like, when it came time to vote, I'm a registered libertarian in the city of Boise. My wife is a registered Republican in the city of Boise. Now, we got a couple mailers or whatever. Actually, I got nothing, which is interesting because it's like, it's not that hard. Like, there are like 12 libertarians in the city of Boise, but like, you should be recording their vote, right? But like, I got no outreach at all. None from the Masterson campaign. Not hard to do it because it doesn't increase your cost. Nothing. My wife got a couple of slick mailers from him and Josh Johnson, which Josh Johnson actually did an okay job. But like, when it came time to vote, there were no text messages, there were no robocalls, nothing. No outreach at all. And it's not hard. Like, text messages for a city race like that, not hard, not expensive. What are you doing? Like, he lost by a huge, like, not a huge margin, but a sizable margin. It's like, you could have closed that gap really easy with some basic outreach. Like, what are you doing? Like, there were no door knocking, nothing. And this is why we lose. This is absolutely why we lose. Goodness gracious.
And I think he relied a little bit too much on his name recognition, which by now nobody really knew. But I think he thought that would help carry the day. I think he thought his law enforcement experience was going to help him carry the day, and I think it did help him. But I'm just saying, it's sometimes these more well-known people in their communities, in even state races and all that, they rely very heavily on their name recognition, and then they don't get out and pound the ground and do the hard work. You know, especially sometimes the older a candidate gets, the less inclined they are to do the harder work. And that's what he needed to do, and he didn't do it. So, I mean, you're right in that he ran a terrible campaign, but I also think that, and I've said this for years, that Boise, I think, is done because, number one, people, you know, conservatives get sick and tired of living under these communist mayors, and so they move out, right? And so the conservatives are leaving out of Boise, and we may be able to save the county for quite a while, you know, because the county's bigger, but I don't see it. I don't know who you're going to get to run against her next time. So I don't know.
My sense is that Lucy Willits might be angling either for that in a couple of years, or she'd be my pick because obviously she serves on the council, right? And she's not having fun at all, from what I understand. She's not having fun. And by the way, the Democrats have great discipline. Guess who did not have an opponent? Ryan, if you join, you can have until I kick your ass off, because that's how we're doing this. Until you're lame. If you're lame and come in here, you get no time. So consider that. Okay, but Lucy Willits was the most conservative of the candidate, and she's not actually all that conservative, but she's better than, you know, T.J. Thompson was, or Halliburton or whatever, and definitely way more conservative than Lisa Sanchez, who's a communist. Actually, I don't even know if she's smart enough to be a communist, but anyway, I digress. The Democrats did not run anyone against her because that would have had way more conservative voters in West Boise turn out. No contest. So really, really good work. If that's how they planned it, really good work by the Democrats in strategizing that one. That was good stuff. Yeah. If I were the Masterson campaign, I would have put a Democrat. I would have found somebody to run in that race as a fake Democrat just to drive up the vote. I'm dead serious. Why not? Really smart work there by the Democrats. So there's that. Do you have another one? Because I have a good one. I have a really good one.
You go with another one. We're gonna have to do like a 3-to-1 ratio because you have way more than me. So.
Oh yeah, no, I really do too. So Scott Herndon this week tweeted out the Idaho State Department of Education's brand new logo.
Oh,
Did you see this? You saw this, right?
Oh my gosh! I need a new job, dude, because I got to get whatever job that is.
Dude, how do you? Oh, we have. Okay, we have a guest. Okay, we'll get to her in just a second. But what I don't understand is Brian Allman actually did a really great job of this. I know he's watching, and he's like Freedom Bro 2.5, right?
Yeah.
He's step Freedom Bro. But he actually did a really interesting thing where he went on, being AI image generator or whatever he did. I don't know how he does it. He's an egghead. But he had AI generate a new logo that was actually kind of better than the one the State Department of Education paid $50,000 for. If you haven't seen it, go look at the Idaho State Department of Education's Facebook page. It's there. $50,000 for a terrible logo that I have a graphic designer I really like. This guy could have done it for $1,500.
Oh my gosh.
And I will give them credit. Boise School District spent like $200,000 on their rebrand, and I don't know if that means like they put new stickers on all the cars or on all the new condoms that they were going to give out to kids or whatever. But like, so at least Debbie Critchfield and Team Can't Stop Won't Stop didn't spend $200,000 on their new logo, but $50,000. Are you kidding me?
I like I said, I need a new job, man. I mean, that's like a year's salary for somebody to come up with a terrible logo. I mean, go ahead. I'm gonna grab it, and I'm gonna grab it and put it in the chat. So go ahead.
Please do. It's terrible. It is the worst. And here's the thing. I'm going to do a public records request for like correspondence between the department and the agency, because the agency was super duper woke, which is fine. That's fine that they can be woke. But like, I want to know, like, if they were like, oh, this one's way more inclusive and this one's, all about equity. Like, I want to know, like, really what they said about this thing, because it's terrible. It is the worst.
Yeah, well, somebody had to have approved it, right? And that's where I want to know. I want to know who greenlit this thing and was like, "Oh, this is definitely worth $50,000."
Yeah, and I will be clear though. Like, the old logo was trash too. Like, it has like a genie in a bottle lamp or something. Like, it was weird. But like, either spend a very small amount and get the same bad logo you got, or like, if you're going to spend $50,000, get a good logo, get a good one. But you failed on both fronts. Like, my designer, I'm not kidding you, could have done that in an hour and a half for $1,000, and that's even overcharging. So all right,
I don't even know. Here, hold on. There you go.
Oh, it's so bad.
Okay. So the one on the, at least it's on my right with the genie lamp thing. That's the old one.
That's the old one.
And then the other one, the new one. What are those little lines for? The three little yellow things.
I think it's trying to say that, like, if you can read, which is like the major push of Brad Little and Team Can't Stop Won't Stop, you'll light the way, which I think is what the lamp, the magic genie lamp, is trying to show too. But like, it's so bad. And somebody pointed out too, like, if you flip it over, the new one, it looks like somebody's like yelling.
I did see that. Yeah, I didn't. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, terrible. It's so bad. It's awful. Okay, we have a guest. Oh, she dropped off. Where did she go? Oh, she's back.
No, she's back.
She had technical difficulties last
time. Oh boy,
she's
already on one of my gripes. Here we go.
Yeah. Here we go.
I'm back.
Senator Tammy Nichols is here to gripe and bitch with us on Festivus 2023. Let's go.
Oh, this is a hard one. There's so many things to choose from. I was listening. I mean, where do I start? I would have to say probably one of my number one gripes is the lying that takes place in Idaho politics. And I have to say personally, that's probably one of mine because I'm a target by it. And you're talking about being called, right-wing extremist and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I get that every single day. It doesn't even faze me anymore. It's the same thing as what they utilized when they were calling everybody Nazis or racists or what have you. It loses its meaning so quickly because they use it so much. But the lies that are spread in politics, you have the issue with myself and Senator Lenny and Senator Treacle with the door knockers that were going around doing that sort of stuff. I mean, and how crazy. I mean, I still go back to Senator Treacle trying, here's someone that's a veteran, and they're trying to say he's defunding the veterans. And it's mind blowing. And then we have the instance of what happened in the Senate with Senator Zeiderfeld and Senator Lenny being removed from their vice chair committee positions. Right. And then Senator Herndon being called out for not carrying his weight on JFAC. But, it's the same. It's these games that are played and they just get so old. It's like, can't we just all be honest with each other? And then, we have people that are running that are trying to say they're Republican, but they're not really Republican. And so it's like, let's just be honest. It'd just be so much easier. Life would be so much easier.
Say somebody like a name?
Oh my gosh. There's so many.
Let me do it for you. Could it be somebody who lives in Middleton who donated $100 to Steve Birch, liberal Steve Birch, who's running against you? Is that who you're talking about?
That could definitely be one of them. Yeah, I mean, there are several. And it's like, come on, just be honest with people. If you really do believe in these things, then just be honest. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
But so that's probably one of my big gripes.
That's awesome.
Oh, I know. Another. Can I throw in a second one?
Oh, of course.
Another one of my gripes is. Oh, goody. My second one is this continued push that we know we need to do, but because of who wants to do it, then they don't want to do it. And that is to get rid of the grocery tax.
Yeah.
And I was just at the grocery store today, looking at food prices again and hearing people around me just in amazement of how high the food prices continue to go. I just got information on a long-running restaurant in Boise that's been there almost 30 years that are shutting their doors because they cannot afford the cost of doing small business anymore. And it's like, come on, why can't we just get rid of this? It would help out so many people. Food prices are going to continue to go up. There's a lot of things that are going on that are going to drive food prices up. And it's kind of a scary situation to me, a scary idea that people are really going to have to buckle down on how much they're spending on their groceries.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another one that, we've had this challenge for several years now, and we still cannot get something as simple as grocery tax removed. So that's another one of my gripes.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is insane.
I like it.
So that's what I've got for you. That's what I got. Everything else is roses and, lollipops.
Yeah, of course.
Until next year, and we're counting the days. We're only 10 days away, and then it's next year. So we'll have new gripes for next year, I'm sure.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, there's a new session coming up. And there's plenty to gripe about. So.
Yeah, awesome.
There will be plenty to gripe about.
Okay. All right. We appreciate you coming on, Senator Nichols. Thank you.
Hey, thanks. Have a Merry Christmas.
All right, you too. Take care. All right, so we do have another guest. We have two guests in the wait, but whoever is in, and the only thing we can see is that your name is B, and there's no camera or anything. Look, if you're a hater, we don't mind bringing haters on.
We want to bring the haters on.
But we would like to know a little bit about who you are so we can introduce you or something. Look, I don't mind bringing a hater on, but I really hate to turn on the guest, and it's just like F you, mother effing F it. I'd really like to avoid that. But if you want to come on and just say, Greg and Dustin, I hate you. You're both a bunch of fat slob douchebags. Like, whatever. You can come on and say that, and we'll laugh. And
also not wrong, but okay.
Yeah. So anyway, but we do have another guest in the wait. So
first of all, that's a hater. So we're going to hold on to him for just a second. Let's see. I have. Talking about this one, Veterans for Idaho Voters. So we blew up Idaho Leaders United earlier, but there is a new group that everybody needs to know about. It's called Veterans for Idaho Voters, and what they're doing is they're posing as this common sense, whatever the F that means, Idaho voters group that they claim to represent all of the voters of Idaho. And weirdly enough, Greg, like every view they espouse is liberal. But my sense is there are veterans out there who aren't liberals and who don't believe liberal ideas. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, look, the new military is definitely shifting and not in a good direction. But if you're talking about veterans and guys who have been at least to, OIF, to Operation Iraqi Freedom and the wars before that, you typically have some pretty, hardcore conservatives that make up a large chunk of the veteran base. But again, this is just like the group Idaho Leaders United, Veterans for this, and Idaho Open Primaries and it's all the same stuff. They just keep putting lipstick on another pig and hoping the Idahoans are like, oh, well, there we go. This is the common sense group we've been waiting for. Again, another group that once election day is over, they will disappear and you'll never hear from them again. Like that's just we've been doing this. You've been doing that. I've been doing this for 11 years, very heavily active in Idaho politics. You've been doing it for at least the same amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the same crap over and over and over again.
Yeah. And we saw this. I saw this firsthand. It seems like Idaho politics and elections are a couple years behind like everybody else because it was like this. It really was like this one state rule until IFF started not dominating, but pushing back on that one state rule and just showing what was really going on. But I went to Montana to cover a U.S. Senate race, and like you just saw fake group after fake group after fake group come in and set up shop for 8 months to a year just to prop up their candidate, which was John Tester, and they all had their guns and their hunting gear and their cowboy hats or whatever, and then they were gone, and it's all fake. It's all fake. So Veterans for Idaho Voters. Complete BS. It's just, and let me be clear about this so nobody misconstrues what we're saying here. We appreciate your service to this country. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate that, but just because you're a veteran does not mean that your opinions and your fakeness as a liberal hack should be tolerated or accepted or listened to by anyone. So let's be clear about that before anybody tries to tar me as some anti-veteran hater. You can go to hell if you want to do that. But now, bringing on talking about haters, Ryan Edwards from, I think he's in Texas now. Let's talk about haters. Ryan, make it good or you get no time, buddy.
Oh, yeah. So, first of all, Dustin, you're not a real libertarian. So
there it is.
Right out the gate.
Nice.
But I mean,
Ryan, first of all, good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in a long
it's
time.
Good to see you. So. It's good to see you again. And I, as always, appreciate the work that you do with the Outer Second Amendment Alliance.
Wait, do you appreciate the work I do?
That's debatable. And I say that tongue in cheek, hyperbolically, because I love you, Dustin, kind of. But shoot, man, like I hate a lot of things. I have a lot of gripes, particularly just with government as a whole. Like every governmental action, and every political action is done through theft, force, and coercion. So of course I hate it. And I mean, but one thing, like specifically with Idaho politics, right? Because I'm still an Idaho resident, is like why am I as a service member stationed outside the state of Idaho paying for Idaho registration for my vehicle? That makes sense, right? I actually had a bill in like a couple years ago that Senator Lori Dinh Hartog decided to stuff in her drawer, and I will not let her live it down to the point to where she actually contacted CID, Greg. She contacted CID on me and said that I was harassing her. Yeah.
I remember you running that bill. So yeah.
Yeah. No. So the thing that pisses me off the most about it is her own dad voted yes on this bill, right? So it was completely unanimous, 3 abstains on the bill in the House. And the House of Representatives went over to the Senate, and it went into committee, and Lori Dinh Hartog, nothing. And I don't know exactly who told me that, and I think it might have been Chad, because Chad Christensen was the one that was sponsoring on the House. I got problems with him on this one too, because he didn't back me up. I went to a Zoom call with Senator Harris and Senator Dinh Hartog. He was supposed to be in it, but he was apparently like not able to be there and wasn't able, like it was just me as just this like lowly civilian citizen against these 2 people in power, right? And so incredibly nerve-wracking, a lot of fun, because she complained about like the cost and of these things and whatnot, and really it would have been like $100,000 and some odd $1,000 less revenue for the state, which if you look at that, Idaho's financial numbers is absolutely nothing. And I just went through her bills and the things that she voted for, which got up into like the tens of millions of dollars in cost to the state and to taxpayers. So it's like, why are you shutting down my bill, which would alleviate the cost for service members like myself? It would save us hundreds of dollars on our registration, and it would cost the state of Idaho absolutely nothing. On top of that, I talked with the one of the I don't know exact position, but he works at the auditorium transportation, and he was fully in support of this bill because he had seen that in other states when not he wanted to help veterans and service members. And so it's like I don't, and the main reason why we have registration in the first place is because it's to use technically, and I hate to say this because we shouldn't be registering our own property, which is ridiculous, but is to use the roads, Idaho roads. I'm not using Idaho roads. I'm using Texas roads, but I'm still legally allowed to keep my registration. So why am I paying to use Idaho roads? I'm not going to use the roads, right? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, and ultimately, like that got shut down. Chad Christensen said he was going to help me again the next year. I hit him up again the next year. He said, "You're not my constituent, and I'm not going to help you." So he just straight up lied to me, and that sent me through the edge. And from that, I just haven't dealt with it since. But yeah.
It's bottled up. It's coming out, baby.
No, it really is, and I love talking about it because it's just because it's it just really goes to show the root cause of politics, the root problem is there's so much just almost unwillingness to help or really focusing almost you as a politician, it becomes very selfish into what you want to do and how you feel like you need to further liberty, right? And it's it just pisses me off because you promised me this, and apparently you're a man of your word. We're both where you're a vet. He's a veteran. I don't consider him a veteran because he was an MP. I don't like MPs.
Whoa,
I hate MPs.
We don't do that. That's
I will do that. No, I will do that.
No. If you served in the military, you were a veteran.
He's an MP. He's a Blue Falcon. That's it. That's it. Greg, because you interviewed me about that. I got red flagged. Red flagged. MPs enforced an illegal search. And that wasn't even supposed to happen on my home. I hate MPs. All MPs, if you're an MP and you're listening to this and you're going to hear this, go get a real job because you don't have a real job. All you did is join the military just to screw over your battle buddies. That is the fact. That is the truth. All right. I hate MPs. I hate all MPs. Please, same thing. You just enforce stupid laws up and down the books.
The best part about this, Bird, is you're doing it while there's you've got that art on your back wall behind you that says love. It's the best.
Well, I love liberty. I hate tyranny. See how that works, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan.
No, I hear what you're saying, brother. I feel you.
Okay, I got a couple more quick and easy.
No,
right?
Make them quick and easy.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. I have a gripe about Andy Avalos for being. Can I swear on this?
Sure.
I think Dustin already did. Yeah.
Okay, so Andy Avalos is a delusional shithead, and I'm glad he's gone. All right.
Boise State coach, former Boise State coach.
Thank
you. Yeah. If you and Dustin, if you actually can squat more than me or take 4 days to actually do it, then why don't you just nut up and do it? Third, what's your mile run time?
I don't know. Don't care.
Exactly. It's probably 15 minutes.
I have a truck and it tries faster than I can run, so I don't care.
That's funny. Those are good. I like it.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Good seeing you, brother. Yeah,
Love
Merry
you.
Christmas. Take care.
Oh, and you're not a real libertarian?
No,
I got the last one.
Oh, dude. That's hilarious.
All right. That was fun. The most libertarian thing anyone can do to prove they're a libertarian is to call fellow libertarians not libertarians. So it works.
Yeah. And then cut them off your show. That's yeah.
Oh man, that was good time. Okay, we're gonna take a chance. I don't know.
This could be a Bjorn situation, right? Somebody that thinks they're just watching and listening. I don't know.
This could be fun. Let's
idea.
Find out. Let's. Why don't you turn them on? And like I do with everybody, I'll turn them off if they get mad.
Okay. So we're gonna bring on the only thing we can see. There's no camera there. It just says B. so yeah, here we go. All right. Is there anybody there?
Hello?
No. Anybody watching? No, I don't know. Guess not. All
okay.
Right. Well,
that was simple. That was easy. Oh, that could have gone so poorly. And now they're gone. Now they're gone. So
yeah,
we tried to include you and be inclusive, but see you later. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I want to do a collective one.
Yes.
Jeff Agenbrod and Jim Woodward.
I was going to say Jim Woodward, huh?
Jim Woodward. Guys, nobody likes you. No one wants you to run for office. Like, it's funny to me that they're coming back for another term when it's like they're running against Scott Herndon and Brian Lenny, two of the most conservative members the Idaho Senate has ever seen. Not just like right now, but like has ever seen. How are you in a conservative Idaho? And those are two very conservative districts, like not like Twin Falls conservative, right? How are you going to run to the right of those two, which is how you have to do it to win? Nobody likes you. Go away. And if you haven't, I should have downloaded this, but I couldn't find it. I'm actually blocked from Jeff Agenbrod's campaign page, so I can't see what he posts. I guess I have to get a burner account for Facebook too. But his campaign ad that he came up with is the worst campaign ad I've ever seen. You can tell he's reading from a teleprompter. Like, there's pictures of him. Like, it's the weird, like, he's just one of those guys, like, you don't put him on camera, kind of like Joe Biden. You just don't put him on camera and you don't let him do anything. You just, like, take pictures of the guy and, like, then just say common sense conservative 400 times and hope you can win. You're not going to, but it's bad. But like,
it's so bad.
What is with these reruns? Like, is Carl Crabtree gonna? I guess actually Carl Crabtree got a job with Team Can't Stop Won't Stop. Maybe he greenlit the really bad
I didn't know
logo.
that. Interesting.
Yeah, he was doing something for them. But maybe Carl Crabtree can come back. Or I mean, we're not getting Greg Cheney back, but we're sure as hell gonna. Sarah Cheney's gonna try to run against Lucas Kaler, which is I hate everything. Everything sucks.
Oh my gosh! So. Yeah, it's I mean, I guess I can't throw Woodward in this necessarily because he was only in there for what, 1 or 2 terms. I don't even remember.
I think it was
honestly.
2 terms.
Yeah, but a lot of these guys, man, it's a good old boys club, and for them, when they retire or they die, that's when you can run for their seat.
Yes.
Outside of that, you're not allowed to do that. And we realized that when we were exposing Tom Lurcher down in District 32.
Right.
That dude had bragged. He's like, I've been in here for 32 years. I'm like, dude, you're a loser. Like, that's not something to brag about. And then he got taken out, and it was kind of like by Chad Christensen. He was like, well, I deserve this seat. This is my seat. I mean, so they feel like they're entitled to that seat until they die or they decide to just not run again. And so it's disgusting, like how much they just feel entitled to those positions.
The one that really opened my eyes, and the family, you know who I'm going to talk about. The family is still salty about it. Is Rich Wills from Glens Ferry.
Yes.
One of the first, like, Greg and I have been working together for a very long time, probably since 2011. But that's the one where we really started to really kind of figure out how to make things work and how to kick ass in Idaho politics. Greg's been doing it, but together that's when we figured it out.
Sure.
And he and I both worked on exposing Rich Wills for the rhino and the fake conservative that he was. And I think that race, more than any other, was really one of those upsets that we see regularly now, by the way. Like the upsets of 2022, we see those on the regular. This was I think the first one. And Rich Will's family has not forgiven us for this. Like, if we saw them in Costco, they would punch us in the face. Like, I'm not kidding about that.
Or Christy Zitto is the one that took them out, and they just hate her. Like, absolutely despise her. It's insane. Like how bitter these people are.
They think, and this is one of the reasons I think they're lashing out with lawsuits and all sorts of slander and these fake ads. To Tammy's point, they're calling Brian Lenny and Tammy Nichols and Chris Trakel California liberals. That's how bad this is getting. But I think they think that they're smarter than all of us, and they are entitled to these seats and to govern us and make choices for us.
Sure.
And they're lashing out because we're taking it from them piece by piece, day by day, and ending their reign of error. So, it's bad. It's so bad. But,
it is bad. Speaking of lawsuits.
I knew we were going to get
there. Got to be the biggest gripe in the world is big fat pansies who cannot take living in Idaho politics, who dish it out, Greg Graff, and then when you get dished on, you cry like a little bitch and go to court. Like by far my biggest gripe of the year, and I didn't want to burn it too early. Oh gosh, we've almost been going an hour.
Yeah.
So, but that just, so that's hopefully leading to something good, by the way. But that the lawsuit thing is going to get out of control. So
yes. So here's the thing with that. Graf is a special kind of mentally ill. Like he needs help. If you go read his Twitter account, like he can take anything that is in the news.
Literally everything.
Like literally anything that like even smacks of something he wants to talk about. Like it could be like the sky is blue and there are pandas on the farm or something like that. And he'd say, this is a conspiracy cooked up by people like Dorothy Moon, who are aligned with IFF, who are also aligned with John Haida. And John Haida is everybody on Twitter. Like, it's the craziest thing in the world. But here's the thing. Like, that's fine. If you want to run conspiracy theories, if you want to print off thousands of tweets and put them in binders in your basement where you cry every day, like, that's fine. You do that. Do it. That's great. Don't sue people because your feelings got hurt. My feelings have gotten hurt on social media before. Like, I'm not scared to admit it. But guess what? I go to the gym and I hate lift over it, right? Yeah. You cry like a bitch in your mom's basement and seriously print off tweets so that you can like concoct some crazy right-wing conspiracy and then sue people over it.
It's like that meme. I don't even know what it's from, but that meme with the guy who's in front of a chalkboard and there's just crap everywhere, and he like that is Graf every day of his life. Like I can't even imagine living like that. Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, in my interactions with him, like I realized like the guy I think spends a great deal, and I mean a great deal, like 20 hours or more every single week tweeting. And by the way, I spend a lot of time on Twitter. Like, I'm not bashing that because that's fun. But like tweeting these insane conspiracy theories about crap he doesn't know and just like making, like, again, everybody is IFF aligned and John Haida aligned and Dorothy Moon aligned. Like, and everything is allegedly, it's the most insane stuff. So like, again, if you want to do that crap, that's fine, but stay out of politics or just keep it to yourself. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to care. Like, nobody cares about your insane theories. You have zero influence. And yes, we have elevated him by making fun of him, but like, it's a cathartic punching bag for us. Like, he's the biggest joke in Idaho politics. He doesn't realize
Utah politics.
I'm not going to say that, but he's the biggest joke in Idaho politics. And he needs serious help. But again, Brian Lenny is bringing legislation to stop lawsuits like the ones that we faced so that, people don't get sued when feelings get hurt. Seriously. Yeah. Sorry.
Look, this is the one I was talking about. Like, I just pulled the first one. I don't even know what it says behind the guy, but that's Graf every night of his life.
Dude, but here's the thing. People think we're joking. Like, you think like we're funny on this show, or we try to be. Maybe we're not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we try. Oh, Bjorn's back. Maybe that's who it was earlier. Who the hell knows?
I don't know. No, he says no. So
okay.
I don't know. Anyway.
But here's the thing: we're not joking. Like, we've seen Graf in action. Like. Let's tell the story from deposition. So we had to go over to Idaho Falls for deposition. There were two instances that were really interesting. He was being picked at by a really good attorney who we all know and love. I'm not going to mention his name, but we all know and love. And Greg, share what happened, and then I'll tell my fun story.
Yeah, so I mean, Graf was being questioned in deposition under oath, and it was interesting because he claimed that I think during the deposition, the questioning was about he was trying to claim, I think, that his standing in his faith community had been harmed. And turns out he hadn't gone to church. He was or is LDS. I'm not really sure, but he at least was at the time. He hadn't been to church in a really long time. And this attorney who's not LDS that I'm aware of was like questioning him about stuff and talking about his family, and going to church and all this stuff. This is just my recollection. I could be off, but it was somewhere in that time frame of him being questioned about how he's been harmed by us. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like threw everybody off, Graf just slams his hand on the table and points at the attorney and is like, "Don't," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's about to throw down like this."
Yeah.
And I think even the attorney's like, "Dude, you're going to come across the table? Like, let's do it."
This attorney is like he's not a small guy. Like,
yeah, he's not small.
He's not somebody you want to scrap with. Like, I wouldn't want to. I'm a big guy, and I wouldn't want to scrap with him.
Yeah, he wasn't Emily's attorney, who's a good friend of mine, but like he's a much scrawnier guy. But this attorney's here, and we were all just like, "Holy crap, what's just?" But of course, you're the violent extremist. I'm the violent extremist, right?
Yeah.
And yet, I haven't seen you commit any acts of violence. I haven't done anything. He's the only one that I've seen have kind of a violent outburst. It was. I wish we had paid to get it on video, because that would have been eternally awesome.
Next time he sues us, which I'm sure there will be a next time.
It's probably coming from this show. Who knows?
Yeah. Go ahead, sue us, Graf. I know. I do want to box everyone. I actually would love to box anybody who wants to box me for charity. I would absolutely do it. By the way, my midsection is very flabby, so if you dig like they do on Creed, like, go ahead. You would end me there. Okay, but my Graf story is Woodrow would kick my ass. So there's that. Woodrow Johnson, he's a boxer. He actually likes to box. Anyway, at the end of, I was the final one to be deposed for this bogus lawsuit that Graf claims that he settled and he dropped because he's a better man than the two of us. The guy's such a compulsive liar. He does not know up from down anymore. Yeah. Anyway, and you can sue me over that too, Graf, when you watch this and put this in your binder. Anyway, it was the final day of deposition, and like his attorney had been picking at me, and like we had like seriously like what was it, like 87 pages of my tweets.
It was a lot, dude.
And I was
insane.
Like, I was having like an introspective moment. I was like, I don't know that I should be doing this. Like, that's 87 pages of tweets. Like, and Graf, here's the funny thing. Graf's attorney was like, this isn't all of them, is it? I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Graf has them stored better than I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we just go back and forth, and like I'm not being rude, but I'm just being very short, like giving them basic answers, yes, no, if I'm, I'm just not giving you much, right? So at the end of it, they ask me something to the effect of, Graf leans over to his attorney, and this is how it happened.
I know where you're
remember
going.
this? And his attorney's like, Mr. Hurst, I see 87 pages of tweets here. And, you guys spend a great deal of time talking about Mr. Graf. And I'm like, I know who spends a great deal of time on who here. But anyway, he goes on. He keeps that line of question. He's like, so why are you afraid of Mr. Graf? And I'm like, I just bust out laughing.
Everybody starts laughing in the room.
The entire room,
like, what are you
except for Graf. Like, even the court reporter started giggling just a little. And I was like, look, I'm not answering that. I'm not. And my attorney objected, of course. And he's like, that supposes that Mr. Hurst is afraid of Mr. Graf. And the guy eventually, the attorney reworked the question, but like I didn't answer it because I'm not afraid of the guy. I just whooped his ass in the court.
Yeah. Which we can't get into the other thing that, talk about who's afraid of who in this whole situation. So I'm not going to get into that, but let's just say nobody's afraid of Graf.
No one is afraid of Graf for any reason. I cannot believe, here's where I'll end it. I cannot believe that a grown-ass man spent more than six figures, and it wasn't a small six figures, spent more than six figures to sue over mean tweets. And by the way, that's what it all came down to.
That's literally what it came down to.
So the whole case, so for those who want the explanation, the whole case was about a couple articles that we wrote about Chad Christensen, and I don't want to get into the whole thing.
Yeah, we'll do a whole other show on that.
We're going to do a whole show
soon.
on this.
So,
but there were 5 or 6 different counts that he alleged of inappropriate behavior by me, 2 others, and Greg here. And by the end of it, toward the end, the judge tossed out like 3 or 4 counts at one hearing in September. And then at the end of it, we asked for a ruling that said, is Greg Graf a limited public figure, right? And if he is, actually, back up. Before we get to there, there was one count that was one of the final counts was for defamation. And that's very, very difficult to prove. Very, very difficult. So at the end of it, our attorney was like, well, he hasn't actually said what's defamatory, and we need to know so we can defend ourselves. So 2 weeks later, the judge is like, yeah, you guys have to tell what's defamatory. He submitted, it was like a transcript for a radio show that talked about the articles we wrote. I don't know if we actually went on, maybe you did on one of them, but then there were like 3 or 4 mean tweets where I said Graf is an unhinged maniac. And that's my personal opinion. I believe he is. Literally, the lawsuit came down to mean tweets. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, on your end, and on mine, it was a couple of stupid. The articles that we wrote weren't even in there. Like that was like, wait, what? You're not even suing over the actual articles. It's some Facebook. One of them was a Facebook video I did for the Idaho Second Amendment Alliance like 3 or 4 years before the freaking articles were out. I'm like, what the freak is happening here? Why is this in here? This is so freaking weird. Like it was a total disaster for him. He lost over and over and over again in court. We're going to break that all down another time, but let's move on to something. Let's move on to some other gripes, but I definitely have to get the lawsuit.
No, that we definitely spent an inordinate amount of time on that gripe, but I'm almost done. I mean, I still have like 50 gripes, but
rattle some out. Do a lightning round.
Okay, we'll do a lightning round. We'll do a lightning round and we'll get out of here quickly. Trent Clark, dude, stop. Just stop. Nobody listens to you. You're wrong about 98. You're actually right about 2 things. Like, I think that you're right about the open primaries initiative. And we can talk about that. But you're wrong about literally everything else, and you should just go away. Crystal Hazel, also, don't sue over your feelings getting hurt. Treg Burnt, don't cry over protecting transgender surgery for youth. Stop that. Jeff Schroeder, you're the worst. You are the worst member of the Senate, and it's not even close.
And that's the end right there. He's the worst.
You are the worst. Joe Biden, come on. Like,
yeah.
You're guilty of everything that we say you're guilty of, and stop letting illegals into our country. I will say this one. Conservative activists who don't know when to shut their mouths and when to speak. There are some people who blow up our friends over inane, pointless issues.
Just stupid stuff.
Shut your mouth, or talk to people privately before you blow up our friends. So there's that. Brian Holmes, again, much like Jeff Schroeder, you're the worst. You're a hack. You should quit your job and never do anything again. I wouldn't pay you to be a dog catcher. Like, you're the worst. Steve Birch and your tweet of the day or door knock of the day that all conveniently happen to, support your narrative.
Yeah.
Nobody believes you, bro. People who don't believe legislative scorecards like the Freedom Index, the ILA, the ACU, enough of the scorecards line up to point to us being right and you being wrong. Just start believing it and be a liberal. Lori Bishop, stop donating to liberals before you run in the Republican primaries. Luke Mayville, you lie about everything that you do. Jim Jones, dude, you are retirement age. Go be retired.
Wow.
Take up
Enjoy life, seriously, man.
Team Can't Stop, Won't Stop. That one's Brandon Durst, dude. Stop running for stuff and stop with all your schemes. Just stop. Veterans for Idaho Voters, and last one. People who hate the new Californians who live outside of Boise. Those people are more conservative than you are. Stop hating them. They will save our state. Stop it right now. Our state is bigger than just the borders that surround us. It's an idea. It's the idea of preserving liberty and becoming America's last stand for liberty, and people want that. Stop hating them. Okay. Now I'm done.
Wow, that was a big lightning round. So I don't know. I guess my last one kind of goes to the first thing you did there in your lightning round, which is no. If you are a Democrat or an independent, or you're just not registered to vote or whatever, okay, the closed Republican primary is for Republicans. That's it. Dustin doesn't get a vote in it. I don't get a vote in it because I'm a registered member of the Constitution Party. I'm not sitting there griping. If I want to vote in the Republican primary, I will register as a Republican, and I'll be more conservative than most of the Republicans that are in there. But the primary is not an election. It's not. Okay, it's a selection process for the party. That's it. That's the bottom line. So no, Greg, but it isn't. Whoever ends up coming out of the primary, they end up winning in November. Okay, welcome to a deep red state. Sorry, them's the geographics.
Sell your
right
ideas
now.
better, or have better ideas,
or move somewhere where your ideas are more accepted. Like that's it. That's
I'll help you hack.
You don't get to be a part of the process to do that unless you're a Republican. And so you have to register as a Republican if you want to be a part of that selection process. If I win the primary in May, okay, and I die in October, guess what? I have won exactly 0 elections.
Yes.
Nothing. I am a representative of nothing. Now, if I get elected and then I get sworn in and then I die the next day, now I have died as a representative of whatever position I was running for.
Right.
Okay. So this ranked choice voting, huge gripe, because the ranked choice voting open primary initiative will destroy our state 100%.
Oh, it's not even. People don't. So Greg and I have been working on a project that's been off and on. We've had a lot going on behind the scenes that we just can't talk about. But in a couple of weeks, we're gonna debut a project that fights ranked choice voting head on. Like I love all the groups in our state that do really good work. CAI, Freedom Caucus, Idaho Freedom Action, Stop Idaho Rhinos, and you should be supporting those groups. But my worry with Greg is that there is no one group that is designed to deal with RCV head on. The other ones are going to nibble at the edges while also doing legislative races. We need more than that. And you know that liberals are going to import like $1 million in union cash or radical left-wing teacher union cash to get this on the ballot so they can keep their power and they can keep their boy Brad Little in office and people like him. So we're going to have a new project in a couple of weeks. We're excited to debut it. We've been working on the branding, the website, all that stuff. So stay tuned on that. But you're right, ranked choice voting. And can I add on to your gripe? Is that a thing I can do?
Of course.
Sean Coletti.
No,
former MMA. I don't even know if he's still MMA, but he tweets a lot, and that makes him fair game for this. He used the phrase "the first round of voting." To your point, the first round of voting. No, that's civically illiterate, Sean. The primary is not the first round of voting. It is the place where Greg said where the parties pick their nominees that they place before the general election. It's not the first round of voting, and the general election is not the second round. They're two different elections for a reason, and you've got to stop lying to people. You won't, but you should.
You see that they are coming up with all sorts of new ways to couch this thing to keep people's minds off of the ranked choice voting part. And they're coming up with this is what liberals do. They come up with all these new words and vernacular to try and confuse voters into, not seeing what they're actually trying to do. And when I saw that, I was like, the freak is he talking about? Round 1 of voting? No, this isn't ranked choice voting primary style. What the freak are you talking about, dude? It does say he's still the mayor of Ammon, which is unfortunate. That means he lives down by me. Anyway.
That was their ranked choice voting is so bad that Gavin Newsom of all people vetoed it.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom. And that's kind of like the grocery tax. California has this figured out and we don't. Like, what the hell is wrong with us? Gavin Newsom has figured this out. So we're if you're interested in helping, let us know. Back channel us, DM us, donate. We are absolutely gonna ask for donations, not to fill our pockets, but to buy a crap ton of ad space. So we're gonna take this thing head on, and it's gonna be a brutal fight. So there you go.
Okay, Bjorn, I guess we'll bring you back on real quick if you've got a quick gripe you want to do. I don't know. I
thought he was happy. No, he just wants to sit there and watch us from the back. He's like the stage manager in the back watching the show from behind the curtains.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah. Okay. Last thing, let's end on a high note. Greg, does your family have any Christmas traditions that you love doing?
We do. We had a lot. We have some traditions of doing 12 days of Christmas. We do our typical Christmas morning, opening presents and reading Luke 2 and going through the scriptures and stuff. So, but not as much as I would say my current family does not have as many I don't want to say traditions as when I was a kid. We had all sorts of like different types of traditions, but no, nothing really particular other than just reading the scriptures and celebrating what Christmas is really about. So what about you guys?
A couple things. So we have the Boise Christmas lights map. So we go around and see the light shows, the Christmas light shows on people's houses. That's super cool. My kids love doing that. We're starting a new one. We're doing Secret Santa. We just got some cash out of the bank, and we're just going to go drop it at some friends' houses. Hopefully make their Christmas a little bit better.
Awesome.
That one's fun. We do White Elephant with Julia's family. It's the worst because it's also like there's like so many of them, but it's also really funny at the same time. So it sucks, but everyone ends up having fun. But I think the biggest thing for me that I've realized this year is like I don't really ask for much for Christmas. Like I don't care anymore. Again, like a man, like I just buy what I want. Like I don't care.
I told Chris that the other day. I buy whatever I want, so I don't really want anything for Christmas.
Yeah, I have Amazon. Like it's better than Santa Claus. But like the real joy of Christmas is watching my kids open their presents on Christmas morning. It's so much better than getting anything. Like you could buy me a brand new F-150 and I wouldn't love it as much as watching my kids open their presents and stuff. And like there was one present. She's never going to watch this podcast. So Holly really wanted a dark Derek. It's a stuffed animal thing from the Tuttle twins. Anyway, she really wanted, and I was like any typical man, I was late on ordering it, and it arrived in the mail today. Like that's the magical moment for me. Like that's making sure my daughter has that magic of Christmas. That's so much better than any present I could ever get.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Watching your kids open presents and get stuff, it's well worth it. Worth it for sure.
Before we go, a couple programming notes. I'm completely checking out next week. Like I'm literally going to do nothing except for hang out with my kids and watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine at night with my wife. Like I'm doing nothing next week. So we will not have a show next week. And then the week after that, we'll probably do it on Wednesday night because this is where if you're coming down to Ada County for the GOP meetings, Thursday, January 4th is Brian Lenny's Liberty Bash, and it's going to be awesome. First of all, Brian's a cool dude, and everyone should support him. I've never actually made a donation to a political candidate in my life. Also, like I've never testified in a hearing, which is going to end this year. But Brian's a good man who's earned that. So I'm going to make my first ever political donation at that party because I love Brian Lenny. I love what he's doing. But Garen Thumb, the gun guy, is going to be there. There's going to be gun giveaways and stuff like that. So come, rub shoulders, get your energy up. And that's the thing is, like, I get a lot of energy from being with people like you and people who love liberty.
Yeah,
and like, we're going to need all of it this year. So come and rub shoulders with us. Have some snacks and stuff. Adult beverages, non-adult beverages, they'll have it all. I think. So come January 4th, it's out in Nampa somewhere, and it's going to be a hell of a time. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be an interesting year. It's going to be a brutal year, I think. Politically, we got a lot of fights ahead of us, but I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. So
it's
cool.
I'm optimistic. A lot of people are saying, they're the liberals and the moderates are already spending against our people. I'm still optimistic. I think the people power in our movement, I sound like a liberal right there, but I think the people power on our side of the fence will absolutely crush them next year. And I'm very optimistic. We know what we're doing. So anyway.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I made it through. I'm feeling it, but I'm here. I'm ready. And I actually got a lot of work to do still. So
yes, you do. I know the work that you have to do, and you better get to it.
Yeah,
so I've been doing work with you to prepare for your work. So
I know. Oh,
all right.
Good times, man. All right, brother. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Let's do this the right way.
Yes.
Last thing. Just so you know, if you've stayed this long, especially if you've stayed this long, we appreciate you. This show is it's an outlet for me and Greg, but it's for you. We hope you get some value out of it, and we'll continue with some banger shows next year. But to end this right, let's do our stinger. Merry Christmas from the Freedom Bros. Happy
Merry
New
Christmas,
Year.
guys.
Please celebrate safely. We want to see you back with us next year, too. So we appreciate all of you.
Yep. God bless.